Hello, welcome back. I'm talking again. Today I've been seeing a bunch of people talk about like emotional intelligence on TikTok, and I wanted to speak my truth. Because growing up, I was kind of always put in that position where I had to like know what was going on before anybody told me. So I grew up very, very, very quickly. In bad ways and good ways. Because I was so aware of what was going on in life, I knew a lot of things that I shouldn't have known before anyone else in my grade. It's like kind of a common occurrence. But it didn't hit me until later on in life that I've kind of just been forced to grow up. Because when I was younger, I thought it was cool, to know a bunch of stuff that nobody knew and be kind of like I felt older. I felt like an older kid. And I always knew that I didn't really fit in with everybody else. I kind of grew up being that kid that nobody really paid attention to in life. My family didn't really pay attention to me. I still am growing up, and I still am going through this in my daily life. Like, I don't really get paid attention to. I'm very to myself when it comes to my household, and I don't really go out of my way to make myself known. And that's also a thing, like whenever you grow up knowing so many things, you become aware of your own emotions way quicker than everybody else, and that's what makes somebody emotionally intelligent. I feel like you kind of have to go through a bunch of hard shit in life in order to fully understand your emotions and why you're doing things a certain way. Because I would always know that I'm kind of leaving myself out whenever I was in school reading. Like, I'm kind of leaving myself out, and then I realized this in middle school, like, oh, I have to stop because I can't be wallowing in my self-pity knowing that I'm leaving myself out. I feel like, I don't know if that makes sense, because I would just go throughout life, and I'm like, I never really got close to anybody. I realized that I never was really getting close to anybody, and I let myself be distant from everybody else, and I kind of stayed too much to myself. Then I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna make an effort to stop leaving myself out and actually, put forth effort into being like a friend, into being somebody that people know. And I remember one time we were going on our school trip to a water park for band. And I was there, and I was realizing like, oh, like, I have to put myself in order for people to talk to me. Like, they're not going to talk to me first. I have to do things first. I had to make that first move, because we were all in the lazy river and everybody else was talking and I wasn't. I was just in the back, and I was like, okay, like, I can't just sit here be sad because I'm getting left out. Like, I have to include myself. And that's what I did. And I feel like a lot of people don't really realize that until later on. Like, a lot of people go through their high school life and their school life just being like, oh yeah, I never talked to anybody. Oh, I was always to myself, and nobody wanted to talk to me. But I feel like, honestly, that's not the truth. In elementary, your kids, people are going to want to talk to you, and they're gonna want to explore and talk to different people, because we're all kids and we're all learning the world. In high school, yes, it gets harder, and it does too in middle school. But in elementary, someone is going to talk to you. It's kind of inevitable, because even your teachers kind of guide you along and tell you, hey, like, come on, like, come, let's go sit with the other kids, like, come on. And I don't want this to come off as a really privileged point of view, but it's the truth. Like it's something you have to pick up on, and you have to realize that you can't just sit there and take it. You can't just sit there. There's a difference between people intentionally leaving you out and then you making yourself feel left out. But that doesn't mean it's not hard. Because I always knew that, like, how my emotions were being processed, it was such a bizarre, like, way to grow up. Because I was so quiet and really to myself, to my family, because I didn't want them to view my emotions as a weak point. That's how I grew up. Like, that's how, like, imagine like a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old telling you that. Imagine it's like an 8-year-old telling you, hey, I don't want to show emotions because I don't want them to make fun of me. I don't want them to think that, oh, I'm a weak little girl. I never wanted people to see me like that. I never wanted people to be like, oh, like, Natalie doesn't know what she's talking about. Like, Natalie's just a little girl, and like, Natalie is a little girl who cries a lot. That's it. And I wasn't going to settle for that, and you shouldn't settle for that. And that's why being in tune with your emotions is so important, because you get to use your emotions to your advantage. I know when I can, like, I know whenever I'm sad, and I know that I can let myself be sad, and I'm not gonna, and I also know that I'm going to be able to get back up, and I know that I'm going to be able to move forward. Because I know my emotions and I know myself. And that's the thing I've talked about before, is that knowing yourself is the key to life. Like, that's the meaning of life, is to learn who you are and to grow up and adapt to certain things and let your mind be molded. I understand that I'm still a teenager, but teenagers know a lot more than you think. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that. But of course, there are going to be, like, stupid people in the bunch, but there's a lot of smart people in the bunch too. Because you're going through so many emotions at that time, you kind of have to understand yourself to understand why you're being upset and why you're getting upset and why you're reacting a certain way. And that's where emotional intelligence comes from, is just understanding yourself. And then you start to understand everybody else. You start to understand, like, oh, she's reacting like that because of this. You start putting the clues together, and you start solving the puzzle. And I think as women, we naturally just grow up to be like that. And that's what makes women so strong. Like, being a woman is one of the hardest things you can do in this life. And women are so left to their own, like, I think women are trapped in their own solitude all the time because society excludes them. We're so excluded from society. And even now, like, as so many women are being in healthcare and in these male dominated spaces like healthcare, it used to be ran solely by men. Now healthcare is being seen as a job only meant for women. And now healthcare is being excluded, and now, people find ways to exclude women in so many, like, different bizarre ways. And so when you're so excluded from the world, you have nothing else to depend on but yourself. And women live through that every single day, is that you can only depend on yourself or other women, nobody else. Because nobody else will understand you. And that's how it is. And women are born with emotional intelligence. That's what I believe. Men will never understand that. They will never. Like, that's why there's things that happen between girls, and only girls can pick up on it, and no man can. That's why women should run the world, because they can understand emotion, because they can use their emotions and to be able to dictate what to do in certain situations. Like, that's why women are so calm. That's why women are so strong. Like, that's why women can go through their daily life without punching a wall. Like, come on. Emotional intelligence can be one of the strongest attributes you could ever have. And I feel like more people need to realize that. And more people need to realize that they do have it rather than say that they don't. Because once you realize that, oh, I am emotionally intelligent, oh, I do understand why people's emotions are a certain way, then you're able to use that as a superpower. But there's so many people who aren't emotionally intelligent and they claim it. And they navigate through life and they're kind of like, oh yeah, I know everything. You know? And they become a know-it-all. That's one of my pet peeves is know-it-alls. And I realize how crazy it is because I am a know-it-all. But yeah, I think that's kind of my point of view on emotional intelligence and how hard it can be and how useful it can be. And it doesn't come easy, but it's needed. And our president now, we're in so many difficult situations because our president doesn't understand his own emotions. He's egotistical, he's narcissistic, he thinks that he is the ruler of the entire world. That's an emotion. Like, those are his feelings. And him not understanding the fact that he feels that way is the reason why he continues to feel that way. Because emotional intelligence isn't just understanding your emotions, it's also taking accountability and becoming a better person and using your intelligence to further expand what you know. Because when you're emotionally intelligent, your entire brain is a sponge. Because you want to understand people, you want to understand yourself even more, you want to unlock the secrets of the universe. And you need to be in tune with your mind, your body, and your soul. And I could get into like the whole rabbit hole of how how emotional intelligence affects your entire body, and how your personality affects your entire body, because it's affecting your mind, and when your mind is affected, then your body is soon to come later. You know, it's a hard process, and it's a hard thing to go through. It's a hard thing to realize, but once you realize it, it'll become one of your best superpowers and one of the best things you love about yourself. I love that I'm sensitive. So many women hate the fact that they're sensitive and that they receive everyone's emotions, and the fact that they have empathy, and the fact that they're an empath, and that they take everything to heart. I love that about me, and more women should too. More women should realize that their sensitivity to others is because they can understand their emotions, because they feel for other people. And it's not a bad thing to be sensitive. It's hard. It is hard. It's hard to go through life and immediately be hit by different emotions, and you take it at tenfold. But it's amazing at the same time, because you understand people, and you're comforting, and you're able to show that you understand people, and you're able to let people come to you, and you can help them, and you can help them become a better person too. And you need to realize that your mind is so powerful, and that you can use your mind to help other people tenfold. You can, if you understand your mind, you can start helping other people. And that's why people say help yourself before you help anybody else, because it's true. And I've had to realize this, like, in all the hard ways. I've had to be by myself. I've had to be with others. I've had to take accountability. I've had to take hits and be sensitive and be emotional. And I'm viewed as this girl who cries all the time. And yeah, I am that girl who cries all the time. But it's because crying helps me process my emotions. And if it helps you process your emotions, why should anybody hate on it? More people need to cry. That's really the truth. Like, more people need to cry. More people need to be mad. But more people also need to take their emotions and know when to stop. Because you can't sit there and be sad all the time. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work. You have to do something to fix your life. Get up. And I know people hated on Kim Kardashian for saying this because she was like, get up, like, get the fuck up and work. But get the fuck up and work. Like, work to be better. Work to be strong. Work to be a woman. Work to be a woman. Even to the men. If there's any men who watch me, work to be a woman. Work to understand your mind. Work to be comforting to other people. Work to help others. Not work. Don't only work to help yourself. And while it's important to help yourself, work to help others so we can benefit as a society. Please. Like, it's just, please. Be a woman. Be strong like women. Be smart like women. Be emotionally intelligent like women. Be sensitive like women. Be a woman. Thanks for watching.